Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Human history has always been marked by legendary generals, those who turned the battlefield into a place where their names were carved into eternity. From ancient warriors to modern commanders, they were masters of strategy, embodiment of iron will and courage, leaving their mark through decisive battles and choices that changed the course of the world. Based on verified historical sources, professional reconstruction software, and advanced AI technology, they return vivid, majestic, as if the past were still alive. Who were these figures? Join us to discover and experience their stories. Number 1. Alexander the Great, 356 to 323 BC, known as Alexander III of Macedon, was a brilliant general and one of the greatest conquerors in history. He ascended the throne at 20 and within little more than a decade built an empire stretching from Greece to Egypt, Persia, and as far as India, renowned for unmatched military genius, bold vision, and absolute determination. He never lost a battle. Passing at 32, Alexander left an immortal legacy in the annals of military history. Number 2. Genghis Khan, 1162 to 1227, born as Tujin, was a brilliant commander and the greatest conqueror of the Mongolian steppe. From fragmented tribes, he forged a mighty empire and expanded it across Asia and deep into Europe. Renowned for his strategic genius, strict discipline, and visionary leadership, he created one of the largest empires in history. Though he in 1227, his legacy endures as a force that reshaped civilizations and left an indelible mark on world history. Number 3. Julius Caesar, 144 BC. Known as Julius Caesar was a brilliant general and renowned statesman of ancient Rome. He conquered Gaul, expanded Roman territories, and proved unmatched in military skill with his strategic genius and ambition. Caesar paved the way for Rome's transformation from republic to empire. Though he was assassinated in the Senate in 44 BC, his name and legacy remain immortal, shaping politics, warfare, and leadership for centuries to come. Number 4. Trần Hưng Đạo, 1228 to 1300, born as Tran Quoc, was a brilliant general and one of Vietnam's greatest national heroes during the Tran dynasty. He commanded the Vietnamese people in 3 victories against the mighty Mongol invasions, most famously at the Bac Dang River. Celebrated for unmatched military genius, loyalty, and vision, he was venerated by his people and even worshipped as a saint during his lifetime. His enduring legacy remains a symbol of pride and resilience in Vietnamese history. Number 5. Gustavus Adolphus, 1594 to 1632, also known as Gustav II Adolf of Sweden, was a brilliant king and commander. Hailed as the Lion of the North, he reformed the army and turned Sweden into one of Europe's leading military powers. During the 30 Years' War, Gustavus became renowned for his modern tactics and decisive victories. He fell in battle at Luton in 1632, but his legacy endures as that of one of history's greatest military geniuses and nation builders. Number 6. Oliver Cromwell, 1599 to 1658, was a brilliant general and a central figure of the English Civil War. From minor gentry routes, he rose to lead Parliament's army, forming the Ironsides cavalry and defeating King Charles I Royalists. After the king's execution, Cromwell established the Commonwealth and ruled as Lord Protector. He in 1658, but 3 years later his body was exhumed and symbolically executed, a grim reminder of the deep divisions his rule left in England's history. Number 7. Tokugawa Ieyasu, 1543 to 1616. The great shogun of Japan was the founder of the Tokugawa shogunate, which ushered in the Edo period lasting more than 250 years. From a minor daimyo, he skillfully survived the chaos of the Sengoku era, using alliances and wars to rise as the unifier of Japan. After his decisive victory at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, Ieyasu was appointed shogun in 1616, leaving a legacy of order and stability that shaped centuries of peace. Number 8. Frederick the Great, 1712 to 1786, known as Frederick II of Prussia, was a brilliant king and commander who elevated Prussia into a leading European power. Famous for decisive victories in the 7 Years' War, he earned renown as both warrior king and philosopher king. Frederick in Potsdam in 1786 after more than 4 decades on the throne. His legacy endures not only in military greatness, but also in reforms, culture, and enlightenment. Thought that shaped Europe for generations. Number 9. Horatio Nelson, 1758 to 1805. The celebrated admiral of the British Royal Navy is remembered as one of history's greatest naval commanders. He gained renown for his bold strategies and decisive victories, most notably at the Battle of the Nile and at Trafalgar in 1805, where he was struck down at the height of triumph. Nelson's daring tactics, unyielding spirit, and loyalty secured Britain's naval supremacy. His legacy endures as a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and the power of the sea. Number 10. Napoleon Bonaparte, 1769 to 1821. The legendary Emperor of France was one of the greatest military commanders in history. Rising from a Corsican artillery officer, he seized power and conquered much of Europe with unmatched brilliance. Beyond the battlefield, he reshaped governance through the Napoleonic Code, leaving a lasting mark on law and politics. Defeated at Waterloo in 1815, Napoleon was exiled to St. Helena, where he in 1821 his legacy endures as both a conqueror and a visionary reformer. Number 11. Hannibal Barca, 247 to 183 BC. The brilliant general of Carthage is remembered as one of antiquity's greatest military strategists. He achieved eternal fame with his daring march across the Alps with war elephants to strike at Rome during the Second Punic War. Hannibal won stunning victories at battles like Trasimene and Cannae, terrifying his enemies. Though Carthage was ultimately defeated, Hannibal's genius in warfare endures, inspiring commanders for centuries and securing his place among history's immortal leaders. Number 12. Giuseppe Garibaldi, 1807 to 1882. Hailed as the hero of two worlds, was a revolutionary commander in the Italian unification. After campaigns in South America, he returned to Europe to lead the legendary Red Shirts. In 1860, Garibaldi launched the famous Expedition of the Thousand, defeating the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies and paving the way for the creation of the Kingdom of Italy in 1861. His courage, devotion to liberty, and vision of unity made him an enduring symbol of Italian patriotism. Number 13. Simón Bolívar, 1783 to 1830. Honored as El Libertador, the Liberator was a revolutionary and brilliant commander in South American history. He led masterful military campaigns that defeated Spanish domination and secured independence for Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Panama. Though his final years were marked by loneliness and disappointment, Bolívar left behind a monumental legacy. He stands as an enduring symbol of freedom, unity, and patriotism across Latin America, inspiring generations in the struggle for independence. Number 14. Georgy Zhukov, 1896 to 1974. Marshal of the Soviet Union, was one of the most brilliant commanders of World War II. He played a decisive role in turning points of the war. The defense of Moscow, the victory at Stalingrad, the siege of Leningrad, the Battle of Kursk, the largest tank clash in history, and finally the storming of Berlin in 1945 that forced Nazi Germany's surrender. Renowned for his tactical genius, firmness, and outstanding leadership, Zhukov became a Soviet national hero and legendary symbol of military might. Number 15. Erwin Rommel, 1891 to 1944. The Nazi German field marshal was famed as the Desert Fox, one of the most renowned commanders of World War II. He rose to global fame, leading the Afrika Korps in North Africa, where his maneuver warfare and sharp counterattacks frustrated the Allies. Respected by both enemies and comrades for his skill and chivalry, Rommel ultimately was forced to commit suicide in 1944 after being implicated in the plot to assassinate Hitler, leaving a legacy as a legendary strategist. Number 16. General Nguyen Giap, 1911 to 2013. Commander-in-Chief of the Vietnam People's Army, was a brilliant strategist and one of the greatest military figures of the 20th century, founder of the army. He directly commanded the 1954 Dien Bien Phu victory that shook the world and ended French colonial rule in Indochina. Later, he helped plan the 1975 Ho Chi Minh Campaign, which brought about Vietnam's reunification. Giap is celebrated worldwide as a legendary general and a symbol of national resilience. Number 17. Douglas MacArthur, 1880 to 1964. A five-star general of the United States Army, was one of the legendary commanders of the 20th century. In World War II, he led the bold island-hopping campaign across the Pacific, destroying key Japanese bases and liberating the Philippines in 1944, fulfilling his promise, "I shall return." Later, as commander of United Nations forces, he directed the brilliant Incheon landing in 1950, reversing the course of the Korean War. MacArthur died in Washington in 1964, leaving a lasting legacy of military strategy and global political influence. Number 18. Omar Bradley, 1893 to 1981. A five-star general of the United States Army, was one of the key commanders on the Western Front in World War II. He directed American forces during the 1944 Normandy landings and later led the U.S. 12th Army Group, the largest ever under a single American general, driving through France, Belgium, and Germany to help liberate Europe from Nazi rule. Known as the soldier's general for his calm and caring leadership, Bradley in New York in 1981 at the age of 88, leaving a lasting military legacy. Number 19. Bernard Montgomery, 1887 to 1976, Field Marshal of the British Army, was one of the Allies' most outstanding commanders in World War II. He won lasting fame with his decisive victory over Ramel at Elamine in 1942, turning the tide of the North African campaign. Later, he led the 21st Army Group during the 1944 Normandy landings, playing a vital role in the liberation of Western Europe. Montgomery in 1976, leaving a lasting legacy in British and world military history. Number 20. Mikhail Kutuzov, 1745 to 1813. The celebrated Field Marshal of the Russian Empire was a legendary commander in the struggle against Napoleon. In the Patriotic War of 1812, he employed a strategy of patient withdrawal and a scorched earth policy, leaving empty land that weakened the French army through hunger and cold. At Borodino, he inflicted heavy losses before forcing Napoleon's disastrous retreat from Moscow. Cut out in 1813 and is honored as a national hero who saved Russia and shattered the myth of Napoleon's invincibility. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to share it with your friends and hit subscribe so you won't miss our next exciting content.